Hey, what is going on, guys? So today I have another finished project to share with y'all, and this is one that I've had finished for a while. It's been, I think, sitting on my desk over here finished for probably like a month now. I've just been putting it off, making a video here to share it with you guys, but here it is, my finished Master Grade Wing Gundam Zero EW Ver.Ka. As you can see, I've changed the colors a little bit, and that's kind of basically the main thing. Didn't really do any sort of customization or anything to it at all, just change the colors around a little bit. And so the color scheme is based off of the original Wing Gundam Ver.Ka, and then obviously changed the tones quite a bit. I made it much lighter in the tones, so the blue, yellow, and red colors are a lot lighter. And I like it. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's not just exactly how I was planning. I think I wanted to go even lighter with it. I want it to be like really light, and I have a hard time. This is a couple times I've tried doing this now, and I've not really been super pleased with it. I think I have a hard time going super light with the colors, because when I'm painting it, I think it looks light, but then when I see the kit actually come together, I'm thinking, oh, it's not actually that light at all. I need to go like just barely like off-white with the colors. Anyway, so it's something I'm still trying to work out. It's kind of hard to do, but anyway, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I did a undertone of this. Everything was primed with white, but with a little drop of purple in the primer, so it's actually like a lavender primer, kind of very light lavender color. But it's amazing how when you have just a really light lavender color and then you're painting just pure white over the top of that, how much pure white it takes to really tone down the purple underneath. It took quite a few coats of white, and you can still see a very definite purple undertone to all the white. But I just kind of ran with it. That's because I like that, and also it kind of fits with the whole Ver.Ka thing. If you guys look at like a lot of Ver.Ka artwork, especially like on the box art and stuff, it's always kind of got this like purple tint to it, so it does kind of fit with that, I suppose. And then for the panel lining on all the white parts, I did also use a little bit of purple in that as well too. I thought I might as well run with it, and just kept with the purple. And so the panel line wash that I made is actually like a gray purple. I just custom mixed that just with some enamel paint. I think it was like a medium gray, just kind of neutral gray kind of color or something, maybe a little bit darker, dark gray maybe, mixed with a little bit of purple for all the panel lining on that. And yeah, the colors as well are all just custom mixed colors, just to make much lighter versions of what I wanted to use for this, basically. And the other problem I think that I have with the color scheme is also just the two-tone color. So I did make some two-tone white, which you can see probably most notably around there on the legs is where you can see the two different colors of white there. And the secondary tone of color, of white color that I made, is a little bit too warm compared to the very like purple tinted, lavender tinted white is kind of a very cool color. And then the off-white color that I used is a little bit warm, so they kind of clash a little bit, I think. At a distance, it looks totally fine, I think, but if you look at it really up close, I think my two tones of white don't really go that well together, not perfectly anyway. So slightly disappointed with that, but again, it's not something that's really super noticeable, and it may not bother you guys as much as it bothers me. It bothers me a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of depends on the viewer, I guess. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right, as they say. And then basically for the waterside decals, I used all the included ones, but I didn't use all. I used probably like 90%. There was a handful that I ended up not using because I just felt the decal scheme for this kit. I think Kotoki was not really on the top of his game planning the decals for this one, to be honest, which I believe he does. I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't have a hand in planning the decals for this one. It's possible, but as far as I know, he does do the decal design as well, and I think this one is not really his best work. There was areas, especially like around on the chest, where it's too cluttered with a lot of decals there, and they don't really look that good, so I omitted a handful of them. I think it looks a lot better. And then I did add a couple from that were not included with this kit, and that's basically like the zero system and like the numbers that you see on the wings. So like the purple decals on like the front wings that you see on like the side of the kit there, those were added from a different simp model decal set that I got recently. So those ones worked out really well for that, with them again being in that lavender kind of color, and they were a good size and good fit to be on the wings. I didn't want to use like huge decals, but they were a good kind of medium size, big for like the big markings there on the wings, but not too large. And just for the pose itself, I really liked this pose in the manual, and so that's what I tried to recreate here. I didn't do it exactly the same. In the manual actually doesn't have it with the shield, and it has it holding the rifles kind of standing upright in the opposite hand. But I really like the shield design for this kit, so I wanted to utilize the shield. So I basically kept the kneeling pose basically the same as how it looks in the manual, as best as I could do. It's a little bit kind of hard to do, actually, with the knees or like with the legs posed like that, but was able to pull that off, and I just kind of swapped up, instead of holding the rifle upright in the left hand, I just had the shield on there like normal, and then the rifle like normal in the other hand, just pointed down like that, perched atop this just wood plinth base, just a base that I just got online. And then the big Endless Waltz decal on that actually is also from a decal set I got recently in my big mountain of decals that I got that are like the Simpro decals. So there was also a big Endless Waltz logo amongst those, and that worked out perfectly, just placed on the base there. I thought that was a good fit. To pop that on the base, it makes sense with this particular Gundam, so it's a good chance to use that. And it's basically just a matter of just placing the kit on top of the base, and it's as easy as that. So yeah, pretty much that's all there was to this kit. A pretty fun kit to paint up, I gotta say. Removing the seam line on the back wings was a little bit of a chore. If you guys didn't see, I did do a video about that. That was simple enough, though. It just took a little bit of time because it's a very long seam line going all the way down those back wings, but it's a pretty easy modification. And then a couple people, I think, and myself in that video also pointed out the concern about there possibly being weight issues with the way that I modified that. And so to avoid any weight issues, what I did was I just glued that joint there for the wings, because the way that I modified that made it so that it could be kind of weak, so that the back wings could sink down and not stay upright like you see them now. So in order to get them to stay up, sticking up like that, I just put a little bit of super glue in there, and that's all it took. I don't plan on changing the pose at any time, so it's not a big deal for me to just have those permanently fixed in an upright position like that. That's how they're kind of meant to look. So totally fine with that, and the seam line is gone, and the wings look great without that big, massive, long seam line there. So it all worked out. But I think that should basically just about do it for this kit, for any explanation that I can give you guys regarding the builds. But of course, if you do have any other further questions or comments, of course, do feel free to leave those down below. What do you think about the color scheme? Do you like it or not? What do you think about the pose? I'm really quite happy with that. I know it's not certainly the most iconic wing poses, but I like that it's something a little bit different from the normal. It's not the typical pose you would see this kit in. And I think it does look pretty cool, pretty unique, and it definitely shows off the really cool part separation in the legs really nicely, especially in like that front knee. You can see all the different part separation there, which looks really cool. So it's a good way to show that off, I think, it's an aspect of the kit that I really quite like, so I was happy to show that off. And I like just the orientation of the wings and everything too, like out the back like that. I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm happy with the pose, but let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, big thank you to USA Gundam Store for making it all possible. If you're interested in checking out this kit, if you haven't yet, of course, you can check that out there. You can save 10% off this and everything else there on the site as well too. If you use my coupon code, that's also down there in the video description. So just check that out. As always, you guys know how that goes. But for now, guys, just thank you so much for the support, liking the video, commenting, subscribing. All that's also greatly appreciated. And until next time, hope you're all having a great day. See you guys later. Bye-bye.